Hi everyone, this is Sammy here from Pampers by Post. I thought I would do a short video on how to wrap a bouquet. Now I've just bought these flowers from my local Tesco, so I'm not gonna lie, the quality aren't that great, but this is more about how we're wrapping the bouquet than anything else. Of course, I would highly recommend that if you are buying a bunch of flowers that you just go to a florist, your local florist shop. Shop small, support small businesses, and the quality will be much better. I've just sped this first half of the video up because it is just me putting together the bouquet itself. Once we get to the bit where we are wrapping, then obviously I will do it in real time. So I've got some roses, some croissants, spray croissants, and some carnations in one bunch. And there's a lily that I'm going to put in the centre as well. And then I got a bunch of stocks and a bunch of astromeria as well. Did I say astromeria then? I meant alstroemeria. Sorry, it's been a while since I actually worked with fresh flowers. I'm also going to add my own greenery in there as well, because normally when you get bouquets from a supermarket, they don't have much greenery in at all. I think there was one stem of laurel in with the mixed bunch that I got. So I've added some mixed eucalyptus stems in there as well, just to bulk it out a little bit. If you want to skip to the part where we begin the wrapping process, please skip to 2 minutes 48 seconds. I must admit, the way I was taught to do it isn't actually the way that I'm going to show you on this video. This way was self-taught, and I think this personally makes the bouquet look more expensive if it's done well. There is many different ways you can wrap a bouquet. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way to do it, but this is my preferred method. So hope you enjoy it. And if you are interested, then skip to 2 minutes 48 seconds to find out how I do it. Okay, so to tie off my bouquets, I like to use natural twine. It's just a lot nicer than poly ribbon, and it's much cheaper than satin ribbons or fabric ribbons. I'll show you what it looks like in a second once I have done it. When you are cutting fresh flower stems, you should have your bouquet ratio 2/3 to 1/3. So the top half of your bouquet should be 2/3, and the bottom bit, which you'll be cutting below your binding point, should be 1/3. Now, when you are cutting your stems, you should cut them on an angle so that they have more surface area to drink. I will be doing a separate tutorial that covers actually making the bouquet itself. Now, once you place your bouquet down on the side, it should be able to stand by itself. As you can see here, it's very well balanced. That means that you've got your spiral correct. Again, I'll be covering this in a different tutorial. Okay, so onto the wrapping. Now, I bought this cellophane from Amazon. It came next day delivery. I just needed it a little bit for the purpose of this tutorial. Obviously, if you buy it on a roll, it is a lot cheaper. Well, it works out a lot cheaper in the long run. That was the twine that I just showed you. That's the natural twine that I used to tie it off. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I bought this cellophane from Amazon. It came in a pack of about 20 sheets that were already pre-cut. So if you buy it on a roll, obviously you will need to cut it yourself. But when you are cutting it, just cut it in a perfect square, or as perfect as you can get it. It doesn't matter if it's slightly smaller, but probably don't want to go bigger. It came in assorted colours, so there's a few different choices in here, and I picked one that had different colours on either side. So I'll show you in a minute when I open it. But when I'm buying cellophane, I tend to buy like a sort of matte finish or a frosted sort of look, because I feel like it looks a lot more expensive. It makes the bouquet look really classy as well, and just tends to go with everything. So I could use, obviously my bouquet that I've made is quite neutral, mainly whites, a little bit of peach in there and green. So I could pretty much use any colour of any one of these cellophanes and it would just go with it really nicely. I've decided to go for a neutral one, so I've gone for the peach/cream colour. Now the good thing about these, with it being different colours on both sides, is sometimes when I used to have a flower shop, that we used to use tissue paper in between the cellophane to give it a different colour on the outside where it's folded over. So if you bought one like this, then obviously you wouldn't need to buy the tissue as well to create that effect. As you can see now that I've laid them on the table, that they are like square shaped, perfect square shaped. So when you're rolling it off your cellophane roll, you would just need to fold it in the corner to the edge and then cut down that other side. I hope that makes sense, because obviously I've not got anything to demonstrate, but yeah, just cut it in as near to a perfect square as you can. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, it is a little bit difficult because it's got a crease in it, but I'm going to fold it in half, but then fold it slightly angled, like so. So this creates 4 points, 4 little corners. I would recommend having some sellotape ready. I didn't, that's why I was about to get up and go and find some. I couldn't find any. Sellotape is best because it's clear, but I have had to use my pot tape here. So any tape will do, but obviously we want it to be as neat as possible. So sellotape is definitely the preferred option. If you don't have a sellotape dispenser, just cut off some little strips of tape so you've got it ready, because you are going to be doing everything sort of one-handed. Makes it a lot easier if you are more prepared. So just watch here as I fold it again and make a second little crease in the centre. Just gives it a little bit more dimension, but also makes the piece slightly smaller as well. And then I'm going to stick my tape around the bottom of the cellophane, around to the other side of the bottom of the cellophane, so it joins it together like that. Now I'm going to take my second piece and do exactly the same thing, fold it again in the centre. Sorry, I struggle a bit here to do it with one hand, but it's basically the same thing. So I'm just going to repeat what I've just done. Like I said, those creases make it a little bit more difficult to do it with one hand. If you get it off a roll, there's not going to have any creases in it, but fold it again like that in the centre. And then move round the second third of the bouquet. Again, I'm going to grab a piece of tape, join it from one bit of the cellophane at the bottom to the other. And then finally, I'm going to repeat this again and take a third section and cover up that final piece. Again, struggling a bit here with one hand, but it's because of the creases in the paper. So I'm just filling that gap there. That's my 3 pieces, evenly spread around the bouquet. Taking my final piece of sellotape, I'm just going around, joining those 2 edges of cellophane at the bottom of my bouquet where the binding point is. Can you see how the 2 tones now have just give it so much more definition, that there's 2 different colours in their contrasting? So they've got the peach on one side and the cream on the other. Just adds a bit of interest to it, really. Now, can you see on one side, which is the last piece of cellophane that I've just put on, it just needs taping a little bit because it's sagging down a bit. This is why clear sellotape is important, because obviously it needs to be taped slightly above where we're going to see. You're not going to see the tape around the binding point, because if you was to put it in water, then you will put a piece around the bottom like this, using all 4 corners just evenly spread throughout, and then using some twine to bind it. But that little bit of tape that I've just stuck on further up, which you can slightly see there on this video, but I do try and hide it, that is just holding the cellophane in place. So sellotape, clear sellotape, is quite important, really. Again, I'm just going to take some twine and tie this around the bubble. This bubble is created so that we can put water in the bottom of the bouquet. So again, tie it in the same place where I've just put the tape and where I've tied my original binding point around the bouquet as well. And just like that. So I can use and manipulate my cellophane, just twist it out where I want it to be, make sure it's nice and even on from every angle. You can get a little bag or a box to put it in so that you can't see the water bubble if you wanted to, but the bouquet should stand up by itself if it is done correctly. So I'm finally just going to take a little bit of satin ribbon just to tie it around the twine, just to make it look a little bit more fancy. All I'm going to do with this is tie a little bow around it, so I'm pretty sure you know how to tie a bow. If you're wondering how to get the water in the bubble, then you would just need to take a jug or something that would be easily to pour just through the centre of the bouquet. So obviously hold it upright, and from this point on it would need to stay upright, otherwise the water will tip out of your bouquet. And there you have it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. For more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button. I will be posting more, I promise. If you like the look of this and you want to learn a little bit more about floristry and more in-depth tutorials on a much larger scale, you can join my academy for just $17.99 per month as well. This is a no contract monthly subscription, so please message me on Instagram if you are interested in joining. Thank you very much, guys.